Confession time. I have filmed this video approximately 5 or 6 times in the year 2020, and then some technical difficulty comes along, or I just overanalyze things and delete the footage. But that's okay, because today we're trying again, and it's gonna be a good time. So in today's video, I'm gonna break down all my favorite art supplies of 2020, and it's gonna be thorough. We're gonna go category by category. And if there's something that I don't touch on in this video, probably not because I forgot it, it's probably just because I don't use it. I'm gonna put a little disclaimer at the beginning of this video. My hope is that this video inspires you to either try new things or maybe just to help you know what's out there. And if you're searching and maybe trying to find art supplies that you like, I hope that this is a good resource for you. Now, I'm not going to be telling you to use these supplies. I'm just presenting them to you as my favorites, but I will be leaving links down in the video description, and they are affiliate links. So if you click them, they don't affect the price for you, but it does give me like a tiny commission. And with that being said, I am not being sponsored in any way. So these are my tried and true art babies. So category number 1 is the foundation of all of our art, right? The surfaces. So let's just touch on the paper, the canvas, all the good stuff. First things first is the big marker paper mystery. I get this question a lot. People want to know what kind of marker paper I use. So the first paper is Express It Blending Card. This is probably the only marker paper I will use. I'm so picky with marker paper, but I will tell you something good and bad about this. This paper is amazingly thick and holds up so well to layering. So there's no pilling, and I just feel like I can just keep blending and blending on it. It is so good for blending. It's called Blending Card. So I use it with alcohol-based markers. I'm really not sure how it works with water-based because I like alcohol markers. The only bad thing, it is pretty pricey, but you can get it in bulk, so can't complain. Next, I have the Strathmore Bristol paper. And I will be honest with you, this is the paper that I always forget about. But I decided to include it in this video because every time I remember it, I'm like, oh, this paper is amazing. Why did I forget I had it? This paper is really, really good for colored pencil. So if you're somebody who enjoys colored pencil drawings or even just sketches, this stuff is very high quality, holds up well, and I just love it. It's not too smooth, not too textured, so right in the middle, I like it. Now, I'm gonna show you one of my absolute favorite watercolor papers, all right? So this paper here is the Arteza Expert Watercolor Pad. And I love this paper so much that I have 2 pads of it right now. I've actually already gone through 2. The reason why I love this paper so much is because it is so thick. The tooth on it, like the texture, is very nice, and it is so affordable. I really just feel like you can't beat the quality for the price. So I really, really do love this stuff. So if you want to go a little step up from that and get something that's higher quality, I've got you. Arches watercolor paper. This stuff is amazing. I think it's like the beast of the watercolor world, and they offer so many varieties of different types of watercolor paper. So this particular type here is my favorite. It is 100% cotton, cold pressed watercolor paper. Now, the nice thing about this stuff, it is super thick. It has a nice texture to it. So if you're somebody who likes a little bit more texture to their paper, this would be very suitable for you. And the cool thing about this, let me open it up and show you. This is a block of paper. So instead of it being like a pad, it's like this. So all the sides here are sealed, which means you don't need to tape the edges when you paint. When you're done, you simply just put a palette knife right into here and slide it along the edges to free your paper. Now, I'm gonna tell you the downfall to this paper is definitely the price point, but honestly, you get what you pay for. This is good stuff. I just don't use it all the time because I just feel like that Arteza stuff is pretty high quality and I'd rather pay a little less, you know? So we can't talk surfaces without talking sketchbooks. Now, this sketchbook here is the ELO sketchbook. My favorite thing about it is a square sketchbook and it has this elastic band. Now let me go on a little rant about this. The downfall about this sketchbook is it is so hard to get. This thing is always sold out. But I think that says a lot about this sketchbook because a lot of people like it. For instance, the paper in here is really good. I used ink on this page, and then right on the other side, I used gouache paint, and it held up really, really well. I just feel like I can do a lot with this sketchbook, and the square shape really appeals to me. But I have another sketchbook that is a favorite, so let me tell you about it. Now this sketchbook here is a Hahnemühle sketchbook. I could be saying that wrong, I don't know. But I painted a little kitty on the front, and many of you have said you miss Mr. Whiskers. He misses you too, but the sketchbook is full, so moving on. This is probably the best quality paper I've ever experienced in a sketchbook, but I just gotta pick this one, you know? But pretty close, I like them both. All right, the last and final surface I'm gonna show you are these wooden canvases by the brand called Ampersand. They're a little company that's based out of Texas, and I love their surfaces for painting. So this is a wooden floater frame canvas, and it is clayboard, which is a really, really smooth surface for like oil and acrylic. It is my favorite surface for oil paint. It is so smooth. I love it. Love it so much. They also have gesso board, and it is amazing. I love it for acrylic painting. These are like my two favorite kinds of canvas. Now they are pretty pricey, but they're very professional quality. And since I'm super passionate about oil and acrylic painting, I prefer to invest a little bit more money into those supplies, especially because I sell a lot of my oil and acrylic paintings, and I just have a vision of maybe doing gallery work in the future. You guys have seen me do a lot of little square paintings, and they're on the little panel versions of these. I blow through this stuff so fast. I have like a bunch of them in my studio right now, but I kid you not, in a month or two they'll probably all be used up, so I don't know. I love this stuff so much. Here is an example of a piece that I painted on gesso board. I just love it. And you can paint the sides. Yeah. Hangs easily. Yeah. All right, we're gonna get to some good stuff, and that is colored pencils. So this here is the Arteza Expert colored pencil set. This is what it looks like on the inside. There are 3 trays, lots of colors. Now I like this set because the quality is pretty nice and it is super, super affordable. I don't think the wax bloom is like super high either. So if you want like a good student grade colored pencil, I use these in my sketchbook quite a bit and I like them. Now if you want to take it a step up and get something a little more professional, this is the Caran d'Ache colored pencil set. These are my all-time favorite colored pencils. I used to really love the Prisma colored pencils, but I got tired of them breaking all the time. So I upgraded to these. And again, 3 trays. Now something I really love about these pencils is they are very light fast. So if you are concerned about that kind of stuff and you want a more professional colored pencil, I would recommend these. They're just really expensive, so that's the downfall. But I love them, they blend really well. The lead never really breaks. And if you wanna know my favorite pencil sharpener, a couple years ago I saw Bailey J using this and then I bought it, and yeah, it's amazing. Basically, what you do is you pinch this, pull it out, stick your pencil in, and then, you know, turn this. You get a really good point. A lot of people don't like these types of pencil sharpeners because they do eat your pencils pretty fast. But I have found that this pencil sharpener just gives such a nice point, and it never breaks your lead because it like pulls out and holds it in place. And I just love that. I'm willing to make the sacrifice of my pencils being eaten just a little faster for the good sharpen that this gives. Now, I have tried lots of other sharpeners before, trust me. I just don't like them as much as this one. This is my baby here, so yeah. Now it's time to talk about paint, okay? All right, let me just slide this bucket here. So this bucket is filled with my favorite gouache, which is Winsor & Newton gouache and Arteza gouache. Now I like both of these for different reasons. The Winsor & Newton, very pigmented, very professional quality. I love it. The only downfall, it's pretty expensive. The Arteza brand here, this stuff is, I would say, like a student grade quality. It's still pretty high quality, but the price point, let me tell you what, it is so good. So if you want an affordable, high quality gouache paint, highly recommend this stuff. Also, just a little side tangent. I've said this in the past on my channel, but Arteza does a really, really good job at making their blue and purple and green watercolor and gouache shades. So that's something that really draws me to their paint. I just like their cold colors a lot. I don't know what it is about them, but I'm really into their cold colors. So a lot of the time I'll use like the Winsor & Newton warmer colors with Arteza's colder colors. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I literally have to say the same exact thing about the watercolors. So this here is the Winsor & Newton Cotman palette. And I would say this is like a student grade palette. It's okay, I like it a lot. However, I do find that when I use this, I pretty much always use this Arteza palette in conjunction with it. I just love it so much, and again, they're really good at making like the blue, green, purple shades. So this is my most favorite watercolor palette. Now, admittedly, I've never tried like Daniel Smith or like really professional watercolors. I pretty much know Arteza, Winsor & Newton, and this Prima brand here. So this here is the Prima Complexion palette, and I love this palette for when I paint people. The skin tones in this set are truly amazing. I love it so much. This is what it looks like. You can see mine is well used. But I also find that this paint is very creamy, it is pigmented, and it lasts a long time. I used to use a lot of their other palettes a lot too, but I've just found it easier to use this one. Now this bin here, my art babies. So this stuff is Holbein Acrylic Gouache, and basically it's like acrylic paint meets gouache, so you have like a matte paint. So I really love using this for like folk art. You guys have seen my moths and stuff. This is usually what I use for it, and I just love this stuff. The only downfall with this is definitely, I would say, the price. Buying them really adds up. So I've been slowly building my collection for about 2 years now, and I pretty much have all the colors I need, but there are tons of colors of this stuff, so yeah. So this box here is my oil paints. I don't have tons of experience with different brands of oil paint, but I do have to say, I love Winsor & Newton's oil paint so much. The only other oil paint I have tried is this Van Gogh stuff, and it was good when I was a beginner, but I prefer this Winsor & Newton stuff. So now I'll talk about all the things that I use with it. This stuff here is odorless mineral spirits. It's really good for thinning out your paint or cleaning off your brushes. And I really like it because, again, odorless mineral spirits. I still get ventilation though, don't worry, I'm safe. Okay, this is Galkide. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but this helps your oil paint dry faster. So if you don't want to wait like a week or 3 weeks or whatever, you can mix this in with your paint. It'll dry like overnight basically. So this stuff here is walnut oil, and this stuff can kind of thin out your paint too. It makes it really creamy and smooth, and I kind of like it better than using Gamsol, so thought I would mention it. And if you want to know my favorite oil painting palette, it is this glass thing here. I like this because I can just use this scraper, and when I'm done with my project, I literally just scrape it off. Then I have a new palette. It's really nice. All right, my box of favorite acrylic paints. First, I will start with this palette here. So this is actually a butcher tray, believe it or not. And I like this because I can take a spray bottle and just drench my acrylic paint, keep it wet for a long time, or use it to do washes. It's really wonderful. Looks really messy right now because I gotta clean it, but love this thing. Now, as far as favorite acrylic paint goes, my new favorite has changed. So I've been using this golden heavy body acrylic paint this year, and I absolutely love it. So because I've gotten so serious about acrylic and oil painting, I decided to go for more professional quality paints. That's why I'm going with this stuff. And I actually gave all my old acrylic paint to my husband, and he uses it now. Now, I really like this stuff because it is thicker than most acrylic paints that I have tried in the past, and it is so pigmented. This stuff is like a dream in a tube. All right, let me tell you something. This is one of the most common questions on my channel, and I feel like it is a boring thing to tell you about, but paintbrushes. You guys always want to know what paintbrushes I'm using. I always just feel like it's not worth talking about, but we're gonna go over it. So my brushes pretty much come from all over the place, but I will break this down for you. These red brushes that you see me using in my videos, I love them so much. And I think I have actually gotten all of these from Palettefull Packs boxes. If you don't know what Palettefull Packs is, it's like a subscription service, and they send you cool art supplies. I'm not sponsored, just shouting them out. I do love the supplies that they send in their boxes, so yeah. These are probably some of my favorite brushes though. They hold up really well. Most of them are by the Princeton brand, and some are from White Sable. Now these brushes here have caused quite the mystery on my channel. I get so many questions about these brushes, and I'm not even joking. I found them in a clearance bin with my mom. They were like 50 cents or 99 cents at Hobby Lobby like 2 years ago. So we cleaned out the bin and we bought them all, and they're great brushes, except I have been trying for the last 2 years to find links for these for you guys, and I think they discontinued them. I think that's why they're on clearance. So now they are by the brand called Royal in Langenickel. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So you could probably get brushes just like this. They probably just won't look like this. Now these brushes here are amazing. They are Princeton Select brushes. I love these because they're super affordable. I get them at Blick's, and they're like one of the cheapest brushes in that like professional aisle. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so I like them. So here is a variety of long handled brushes, and I like these for oil painting, but sometimes I use them for acrylic too. Most of them are the Princeton Dakota line, but let's see. I do have some Winsor & Newton brushes in here too. Simply Simmons and Princeton Summit. Now it's time to talk markers. So we have these here. These are Posca pens. It's like a paint marker. You guys have seen me use these quite a bit on my channel. They're really good for like customizing stuff or drawing in your sketchbook. I love them. It gives a nice like pop art sort of style too, so. Next is this gold leaf marker. It is called a DecoColor Premium Prime Premium Marker. Anyway, it's a gold leaf marker. I love it so much, and I think you guys know that by now. Last but not least, this is something I'm always afraid to use on my channel anymore because I get so much hate for using them. I kid you not. But they're Copic markers. Now these markers get so much hate because they're pricey, and I'm not gonna start that debate on my channel. If you use something else, that's totally fine. But the reason why I like these is because I tend to use lighter, softer colors in my artwork, and these are really good for the type of art that I like. And also, they sell refills, and if you do the math, they end up being really cheap in the long run if you have a refill, because basically you never have to buy the marker again. They even sell replacement nibs, and I've actually found that their nibs hold up really well though. I mean, a lot of these markers are 5 or 6 years old, and they're still kicking, so I'm a fan. Now, I don't use these very much on my channel anymore because I'm just tired of hate comments about Copics. Like, my point is to inspire people, is not to debate over markers. So with that being said, you don't need to use the same supplies I do. I just want you to have fun. Anyway, this was weird. I just did a whole video without doing an art project. But I hope you found this helpful, and I hope it makes you feel inspired. Maybe you have some favorite supplies that you forgot about, and I don't know, hopefully this makes you want to use them. Also, if you have favorite art supplies of your own that you want to talk about and share in the comments, then I hope you feel welcome to do so. It could help somebody out there. So yeah, we can get a conversation going. Let's just remember to keep it friendly. We all are different. We all like different things. We all have different budgets and styles and stuff like that. So keep that in mind if you go commenting down below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with a big art project. Okay? Bye.